James Lynch here for MMA Surge. Happy to be joined by Austin Hubbard, who's one of the big winners last weekend at UFC Vegas 24, getting that decision win over Dakota Bush. Austin, how's it going, man?
Good. Can't complain, you know.
I'd say so. It was a good win, man. We might as well just start there and get into it. You had the opponent switch up. How difficult was that to kind of adjust to, Dakota Bush, who, was going to be making his debut? I know it's a little bit tougher than someone who's fought in the UFC, right? Because there's not as much footage and all that.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't watch any film on Natan or Nathan, however you say it. I didn't watch any film on Dakota Bush either.
Okay. So it wouldn't have mattered then. Yeah, I guess it was just like you focus on what you're good at type thing.
Yeah. Yep. I don't like getting like too involved in watching film on my opponents. Well, because for one, you know exactly what happened. Who knows if that's even going to be the opponent that's going to be in their fight night. And it ended up not being. So, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, my coaches watch film and they kind of come up with a game plan that we implement and everything. But for the most part, I just make sure that every area I need to be on point and is on point, and just make sure I'm ready to go in any scenario where the fight may lead. I like to prepare, as if that's the case,
Yeah, especially in situations like this where, like you said, you had the opponent switched up. Thankfully, they got you a fight and that you could still go on. I know with COVID, it's been a little tricky there, but let's talk about the fight itself. What was the game plan heading in there in terms of the matchup itself?
I kind of figured he was going to come out, on fire, and he did. He had a very good, strong start, which I kind of seen that coming. I weathered the storm and kind of let him tire himself out, stayed patient. And, I knew he was going to wrestle. People saying that was his kind of go-to. My coaches said that also more than likely he's going to be looking to take me down and everything else. And, I was really, really focused on showcasing my takedown defense and my own grappling this fight. I've had quite a few high-level grapplers in the past couple fights, so that's really something I wanted to show. Where hey, I'm well-rounded. I'm just as capable of grappling as I am striking. So I was excited and happy that I kind of showcased that.
Excellent. Were you pretty confident when it went to the judges' scorecards that you had the win?
Yeah. I mean, I spent almost 6-7 minutes in control top position. So I thought if I would have lost that, I would have been pretty upset.
Right. Yeah.
But I felt pretty confident, but you never know with the judges nowadays.
Exactly. How did you end up celebrating after the fight?
My fiance actually came to Vegas that weekend, so I met her, and we ended up staying in Vegas till Monday, and it had a good little weekend for us, you know what I mean? So it was pretty low key, but it was still fun. It was good to relax, and finally have that, deep breath release after the fight, all camp long. It's just slowly building, stressing you up, and then when it's over, it's pretty nice to just take a deep breath.
Well, and stuff's open in Vegas, right? Like some stuff, I think the pools are open, are they not? I don't know what you got to do while you're there.
They were open. I think it's certain you have to make reservations at a lot of places and things like that. But we didn't end up going to a pool, but we did walk around quite a bit, eat quite a bit of food, just kind of
taking in Vegas. I know how it is, man. I love going there. That's great. I know this is kind of, fresh, but when are you looking to get back in there as far as your next fight?
I'd love to get back in there in July. Even early or late June, even I would be happy with that. I know UFC is busy, they putting these cards together kind of, a few months out. So I don't know if, late June is possible, but any point in July I would love, I I like staying busy. For me, the more I'm in the cage, getting that live scenario, situations, you can train as much as you want, but I feel like that live go is what really solidifies all the gains, you know what I mean, and is the best learning experience. So I like to stay active. I like to, get in there, pick up some experience, learn some lessons, go back home after, train for, a couple months and implement the things you want to change and that you've learned from the fight and whatnot, and then, just keep building.
Yeah, move on. Any opponents in mind, or you just leave that up to your management?
Yeah, I just leave that up to my manager, my manager, coaches, UFC. I've never been a person who, picks or chooses or calls people out. To me, my job is to fight. So
leave that to everyone else. Leave that to the people that, are helping you out, right? You're supporting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever gets, signs a contract, that's who I'll fight. So, like I said, I don't really care.
All right, let's talk about UFC 261. We're not going to go through the entire card, just a couple of the notable fights, but the one that sort of stands out to me is, and we'll start there first, is the Chris Weidman and Uriah Hall rematch. So these two fought on the regional scene years ago before either were in the UFC. Chris Weidman won. Obviously, they've both gone on to have very interesting careers, with Wyman winning the middleweight title. Right now on Fanduel, Chris Weidman and Uriah Hall is dead even at -115. Who do you like in this fight? Who do you think gets the job done on Saturday?
My first instinct is slightly leaning over to Uriah Hall, actually. Mm-hmm. So, Weidman is obviously a very strong talent. I feel like he's shown a little bit of a decline in his recent fights. And Uriah is always, his striking is world class. So I think he could very easily clip him and, you know what I mean? But to the same token, Weidman's very capable of clipping him as well. And, I think he probably has the ground advantage as well. So, it'll be an interesting fight.
We've got Valentina Shevchenko taking on Jessica Andrade. Interesting enough, Valentina, a pretty big favorite at -400, but that's actually low for her. Usually she's more in like the -1000s when she's fighting her opponents. Andrade obviously has power. I'm sure that's why she's, not as big of an underdog, but the comeback on Andrade is +300. Are you liking the champ here, or do you think Andrade has a potential to pull off an upset?
I think Valentina is definitely going to get that one. This is MMA though. There's that puncher's chance, you know what I mean? So, I do think Valentina is going to get it, but, you can't ever count out, Andrade. She has great power, you know what I mean? So she can change a fight quick if she lands something,
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree there. And then obviously the other strawweight, or the other title fight on the card, I should say, Weili, Zhang, and Rose Namajunas. Now, Weili, Zhang, -192, the favorite. Rose Namajunas, the comeback, +154. Who do you see getting the edge in that one? Who do you think takes it?
That's another that's going to be razor thin. You know what I mean? I think Rose kind of has the evasiveness, to her striking. And Weili's kind of has that power edge to her striking. Mm-hmm. I think whoever can kind of implement their game plans and get to their flow, fastest and sooner, I think that's who will pull that one off. So, to me, it's kind of 50-50. So
okay.
We'll see.
Fair enough. And you might be a little biased in this one because I know he trains with you, but you've got Kamaru Usman taking on Jorge Masvidal. Usman, a big favorite here, -400. Masvidal +300. I think even if you weren't teammates, I'd have a hard time seeing you picking Jorge Masvidal. Am I right here? Just because we saw what happened in the first fight, and yes, there was a short camp, but Usman's a favorite for a reason. How do you look at this fight?
Yeah, same. I think Usman has grown a lot, especially coming off of that Burns fight, faced some adversity in the first round to come back and get that finish. I think that does a lot for, your confidence and if the higher your confidence is, the better, you know what I mean? He's already beat, Masvidal once. And then, like I said, he's coming off that great win against Burns. I think no matter how long that camp is, I think Usman will always have the grappling edge. And the striking edge is very similar in his versus Masvidal. So with the grappling edge, I think he wins that fight. 9 times out of 10. He's very well at mixing it up and keeping them guessing, and I think he's just more of an athlete. Not to hate on Masvidal. He's very, very talented himself, and he has definitely the finishing ability if he can land something clean. But I think Usman's just kind of at a different level right now.
I agree with that. We'll have to see how the fights unfold. Before we go, just a couple rapid fire questions. I know you fought on the same night, but did you catch the Ben Askren Jake Paul highlights of what happened? And if so, what did you think?
I did see the highlights. It's unfortunate, I was really, really rooting for Ben. Most of the MMA community in world was. It kind of sucks to see him go out and get finished like that right off the bat. But that's the sport. That's the game we play. I would love to see, Jake Paul fight someone in his own weight class and then in his own sport. Like, I don't know why this dude keeps fighting every other athlete besides an actual boxer, and he's challenging him to boxing. Why don't you fight a boxer? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I seen he called out Nate Diaz. I think I think Nate would, put it on his ass. So that would be awesome to see. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Before we go, what's the plan for the rest of the week? I know you're back at practice and all that, but what are you getting up to for the next little bit before you decide on your next fight?
Yeah. So after my fights, I give myself like 2 weeks. I call it, gluttony week. I can relax, eat food. I don't really train these 2 weeks. Kind of give my body time to heal, give my head time to heal. Just kind of, our lives is revolved around working out, cutting weight, and so for me that 2 weeks is, I feel like it's necessary. Kind of re-energizes me, gets me ready back into training and everything. Because far as like in camp, out of camp, the frequency of which I train is the same. The only thing basically that's changing is, diet, and obviously it gets a little more ramped up in camp, as far as the intensity and game planning and shit like that. But, even out of camp, I'm still training multiple times a day. And so, like I said, the 2 weeks for me is kind of that sweet spot where I'm getting good rest, but I'm not, being too overlapping on like that time off and being lazy or whatnot. So yeah.
Congrats on the win, man. That was a great performance. Looking forward to the next fight. In the meantime, man, if you got anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, my social media, your best bet is to find me on Instagram. I honestly don't use Twitter probably near as much as I need to. My Instagram is Austin Hubb, HUBB 155. And I have a fight page on Facebook, Austin Thud Hubbard. Go ahead and check me out there.